Hi, this is Julie with Beadaholique, and in this video, I'm going to teach you how to make a super Kheops par Puca memory wire bangle bracelet. And you can find all the supplies and tools that you see here at beadaholique.com. So I like to do these in sets. I think they're really fun to stack and layer. So you see here I have a festive holiday green and red one with these little Toho Demi round beads in gold. And then for the video, I'm going to make a set which is a little bit more universal and able to wear year-round. So I'm going to do a silver and matte iris teal demi round and pair it with a hematite one. So the hematite one is the one I'm going to do in the video. In terms of the supplies you're going to need some bracelet memory wire, which is available in both gold and silver, some 5mm jump rings, Toho demi rounds. Now they do come in a wide range of colors, and we're going to be using size 11-0. For each bangle, you'll need almost a full pack of the Super Kheops par Puca beads, and we're going to be using hematite here. And then if you look over here, this is how many I had left over from the silver one I just did. So doesn't use them all, but does use quite a few of them. Now for tools, you're going to need a pair of memory wire cutters. You definitely want to use memory wire cutters to cut memory wire. It's very, very strong. It will damage your regular flush cutters. For this particular one, we're going to be using some charm chain to add as dangles on the ends of our memory wire. So you'll need some cutters to cut that. A couple pairs of chain nose pliers to open your jump rings. And then if you notice here at the end, we have little simple loops. So we're going to need a pair of round nose pliers. You can choose your color of Super Kheops par Puca beads. You see they do come in a nice range of really pretty colors. And I did want to just point out really quickly how these beads differ from a regular Kheops bead. So here is a regular Kheops par Puca. It is 6mm and it's got those 2 holes. A Super Kheops is the same general shape. It also has the 2 holes and it is also 6mm. But it has more of a triangular pyramid top. So this is very flat and this goes up to a peak, and that is how they differ. But because they are the same measurements, you can use regular Kheops par Puca beads for this project as well if you like. So let's begin. You are going to need for each bangle bracelet 2 cut loops of memory wire. And you see here, I have it where they overlap by just about an inch. It's a pretty generous inch, and we're going to end up trimming it later. But you want a full circle plus that little extra. To cut that, you've got your loops right here. You're going to find the end. So here's the end. Pull it apart, and then we're going to cut it right here so we get that little extra measurement. Don't worry if they're not exact at this point. We are going to trim them. All right, so we got our 2 loops. Now we need a way that our beads will not be falling off when we string them on here, because we're going to string them simultaneously. We're taking advantage of both holes. So we're going to grip the very tip of the memory wire with our round nose pliers and bend it up. And just grip it and bend it all the way over. So you want a loop. You want to try to make that loop as tight and closed as you can. And now you're going to do the same thing on your other section. Try to make the loops about the same size. Okay, so there we've got 2 loops. And now it's just a matter of stringing. So I'm going to pull these guys over here. And I do have a tip for you. You can string them on just directly. You can also anchor these 2 bracelets together in the beginning, and that is something that I actually do like to do. So I'm going to take one of my jump rings and my 2 pairs of chain nose pliers. If you have a bent nose plier, you can also use a chain nose and a bent nose. Some people also just use their round nose as well. You can do that. That can be something that helps you to open and close your jump rings. So we are just going to take this jump ring and put it through our 2 loops. And close it back up. All right, so now we essentially have a bead stopper and our bracelets together. The first bead we're going to string on is a Super Kheops, and we are going to string it on so its flat side is going to rest against these loops. So to do that, start here at the base and just work your way around because you want your loops to not be twisted up. Okay. And the beginning is the hardest. So we see we've got those 2 holes there. I'm going to put a wire into each hole. And now we're going to slide it all the way down. And there we go. And now for this particular pattern, if you look at the one I've already created, if we look at the base here, so we've got that nice flat edge, then we're going to do 3 of the demi rounds on each strand of memory wire, and then we're going to do a super Kheops pointing inwards, so you almost have these like 2 darts coming in at each other. You're going to separate them with a single demi round, and then you're going to do that flat side of the super Kheops and make another segment. So you can almost think of these as little segments on repeat. So I do like to always just work my way around. And again, don't worry if your ends aren't matching. It's quite all right. As you do this, they'll twist a little bit and they'll jiggle a little bit, and I would not recommend trimming them to be even at this point, because what you'll end up doing is about every inch you'll think, oh, I need to even them up, and you'll trim them a little bit more, and suddenly they're going to be really short at the end. So we're doing 3 on each. Okay, and now what we want is we want one of the super Kheops pointing inward. So just look at where its holes are. Go through it. Okay, now we need a single Kheops. I'm sorry, a single demi round, excuse me, all these names. All right, so that's gonna be essentially 1 full segment. Let me scoot that down so you can see what it looks like. All right, so we have them pointing inwards, separated by 3, and then just really a buffer bead until we start the next segment. So the next one, you need another super Kheops, flat side first, and so the flat side is going to have the 2 holes lined up right next to each other versus the point. Slide that guy on and separate it by 3. So just 1, 2, 3, and on the other memory wire loop, 1, 2, 3, and now a super Kheops pointing inward. So point first, and then we're going to add that little buffer bead, which is just a single demi round on each strand, and scoot it all down until it's resting against the other ones. So that was just 2 segments. I do recommend scooting them down as you go per segment, just to make sure you didn't accidentally put one on backwards and the point is on the inside, because you want it nice and smooth against your wrist on the inside. But now I'm just going to continue and do all the way around until I get to about 1/4 of an inch from the shortest memory wire loop end. I'm just going to continue making these exact same segments. All right, we've put almost all of our beads on. Actually, this might be all of our beads. And if you notice, all the beads are fully positioned down at the base, so we don't have any big gaps. So definitely make sure all your beads are scooted. And we have a little over 1/4 of an inch. Now, I have not trimmed my ends at all, but you'll notice now they look more even. So before, when they were uneven, it was just a matter of the wires kind of moving around a little bit. That's why we didn't want to trim them. So this is maybe just a little bit too long to make our loop, but it's not long enough to put another Kheops. And I'd rather not end with a demi round. I really like the Kheops being the last bead. So I'm just going to trim my wire ever so slightly, because I do want really more of 1/4 of an inch. Now wear safety goggles or definitely position this away from you because when you cut this, this little end can shoot out. So just be aware of your surroundings and what's going on. All right, so we're going to trim that down. And now we're going to make our little loop on this end. Same way as before. I'm going to trim this one down now too. Okay, and then this one is a little bit trickier just because you've got the bracelet in the way now. Okay, and just bend it. And there we go. We've done our beadwork, and now we're going to add another jump ring. To connect your two ends. Now, I do want to note on this one here, I added the little charms right to the jump ring. You can definitely do that. I'm also going to try a different way on this bracelet because I wanted to see if I could get a little bit more of a dangling effect. So close that jump ring. And now we're going to take our charm chain. Now this is a triangle dangle charm chain and it's 1 inch of it. So you get quite a few of these little dangles for 1 inch. I'm going to cut the jump rings that are connecting them and separate out the little triangle dangles. And I want 4 on each side of my bracelet. So I'm going to need to, each one here has 2 dangles on it, so I need to cut 4 of these interior jump rings on this charm chain. We have a lot of different charm chains at Beadaholique.com, so you can actually find other little designs that you might want to hang. Okay, so now I'm just going to simply take another jump ring, open it up, and hang these by their little loop. Like I said, I thought 4 would be nice, but you can do more, you can do less. You can have a couple jump rings connected to each other, really whatever you want. And then I'm just going to hang that jump ring from the jump ring connecting my 2 pieces of memory wire. Yeah, and I think I actually personally like that look a little bit better because it hangs a little bit further out compared to so close up, but that is up to you. Always have fun with your designs. Feel free to, feel free to make the project exactly like you see in this video, but also feel free to go off on your own and, whatever feels right and looks right, and let your creativity flow. Definitely use these as a guide to help you learn techniques, but feel free to experiment and do really whatever you want. That's the joy of jewelry making. All right, there we go. We are done. So now we've got this little set, which is more of a evening wear with anything New Year's set. And then here's, of course, your more classic Christmas holiday set. Again, these are super Kheops par Puca beads used in combination with memory wire and little Toho Demi rounds in size 11/0, and then just some charm chain or little tiny charms. Everything you see here is available at Beadaholique.com, and we have many, many more videos showing different types of memory wire bracelets, but also all other sorts of jewelry designs.